Well, it's been a minute since I did one of these. Sorry it's taken so long, guys. Just a lot of video game stuff's going on lately. And honestly, my channel is going to be focusing a lot on that for at least the next couple months. But I want to do sprinkle in album reviews once in a while. So I figured, what's a better way to get back into these than introducing a new band? And honestly, I am so surprised I have not talked about My Chemical Romance until now. I'm a huge MCR fan. Like, I'm wearing a Black Parade shirt. We're talking about my favorite album of theirs. And yeah, they're my second favorite band. All American Rejects takes number one. The reason is I love All American Rejects albums. I kind of hate MCR's first album. I know there are some people that love it, but I think I'm not in the minority of people saying that that album just is not it. Maybe I'll review one day. I'm not totally opposed. Maybe I should give it another shot. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you really want me to talk about I Brought You My Bullets. But since this is the first time talking about a band, I should probably introduce them to you for those who don't know who they are. So, My Chemical Romance is definitely a band that defined the generation. They were massive in the early 2000s. And when you say emo band, the first thing that comes out of most people's mouths are My Chemical Romance. Legends in the punk rock, pop punk, whatever you want to call it. I call it punk rock myself. But legends in that genre. The band broke up in 2013, but in 2020, the one good thing that happened that year, it was either 2020 or 2019. I don't remember. It might have been right before the pandemic. But if it was 2020, the one good thing that happened in 2020 is that they got back together and have released a song since then. But anyways, their music also has helped me get through a lot of tough times. I've been going through a tough time pretty late recently, and this album I've just been listening to nonstop. But before I get into the music itself, let's take a look at the packaging that this vinyl comes in. Alright, so taking a look at the packaging, we're going to start with the artwork like always. And I always imagine this from the music video of Helena, which I think I talk about a little bit later on in the video. I believe this is the girl from the music video, and then this is like supposed to be Gerard who's singing Helena. So I think it's based on that, and I love the whole theme going on here of the man, the woman, all the blood and stuff. And then the font really up here is really cool, the My Chemical Romance. And the black, red, and white like color scheme, I just love that vibe. And yeah, it's really cool. Looking in here, we got a picture of all the band members. The story of a man, a woman, and the corpse of 1,000 evil men. Corpses. Sorry. I'm only that in, why not? Then My Chemical Romance, Reach Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Pretty cool. And it's all the songs with all the lyrics like most of these albums come with. So that's pretty dope. Put that right back in there. On the back we have the track list. So really not too much to this one compared to some of the other records that I've collected and some of the ones I'm going to talk about. But yeah, it's still a really good album, as I'll talk about in the video. So yeah, let's talk about the music. So Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge is the second studio album from My Chemical Romance. I feel like pretty much via the music videos and aesthetic of the album itself, pretty much defined what emo clothing looks like the reds and the blacks. You could argue it was just kind of what was hip at the time, or maybe something else contributed to it. I don't know, but pretty much Hot Topic equals MCR style. At least up until I'd say past Black Parade. Anyways, when it comes to this album specifically, I think what I love about it is just the vibes of it. Like the Black Parade, people say that is their best album, and I will say it's definitely for sure their most iconic. And I actually debated if I wanted to do that one first or this one, But I chose this one because, one, it was released first. Two, it's the 20th anniversary of the album. Yes, this came out in 2005. And three, it's my favorite album of theirs. I love the vibes and the emotion in some of these songs. Like, we have songs that are very upbeat and like rock and rollish, like I'm Not Okay, I Promise, which I promise you've probably heard it before if I were to play it for you right now. But yeah, you got bangers like I'm Not Okay, I Promise, Thank You for the Venom, Give 'Em Hell Kid, I Never Told You What I Do for a Living, which is the closing track. And then you got very somber songs like Helena and The Ghost of You. And I want to focus on three songs. I want to focus on Helena, The Ghost of You, and I'm Not Okay. So, Helena, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. It keeps switching between Move Along and Helena. It just does. It's a very touching song, a very sad song, especially because when you know the backstory behind it, which is Gerard and Mikey, who are two band members. Gerard is the lead vocalist. They lost their grandmother shortly before this album dropped, and they were really regretful that they weren't really there much for the last year of her life, and they were really close with her, and that's how Helena came to be. Her name was Elena, but people called her Helena, or I think that was her nickname or something. So that's why the song's called Helena, So Long and Good Night. It used to be called Helena, So Long and Good Night in parentheses, but then eventually they just dropped the So Long and Good Night part. But it really pulls in the heartstrings, especially knowing this backstory. The lines, what's the worst that I can say? Things are better if I stay. The things are better I can stay line really hits harder now because they're like, things might have been better if we just stayed, you know? Like, there are things like that throughout the song. And it's not just about her, really. I think it has a lot to do with her. Or maybe there's a lot of mentions. But you could just tell, like, in Gerard's voice, his vocals in the song, you can just hear all the stages of grief. The anger, the sadness. You can just hear it in his voice, and it's just so clear in it, and the pain and sorrow, and it just hits so hard. Especially when it gets to the chorus and like the instrumentals slow down, it's just such a good song. It also has what I love about My Chemical Romance in it, which is like, and it's throughout this whole album, it's not just the song, but the just normal singing to the raspy kind of growly, almost screaming, but kind of screaming. Sometimes he does scream, but it's not like over the top like on the first album. Just so good. Probably one of my favorite performances from Gerard is on Helena. Next, The Ghost of You is also another one of those hard-pulling tracks because it's essentially about leaving, I think specifically for the military, and just not coming home. The music video, for example, it seems like it's at first this like kind of military, old school kind of like ball thing, but then as you go on, you realize, oh wait, oh shit, the military dudes, they're all ghosts. Oh no. And like throughout it shows like flashbacks to like a battle in the war. And I think it's one of those songs that's a commentary on war. Like during that time period, you know, System of a Down, and even like I think I mentioned in Avenged Sevenfold in City of Evil, there are like songs that are very anti-war and speak out against it, especially in like the rock and roll genre. So this was definitely one of those, and it's such a good song, so good. Then we got I'm Not Okay, I Promise, and I really don't have too much to say except it's a fucking banger, and you've definitely heard it before. And it's one of those songs where it's like the instrumentals and the way that Gerard sings it, it sounds upbeat kind of. But then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh, yeah, you're not okay. You're not okay. Seek help. Otherwise, it's really like it's a song you definitely bump in the car for sure. Overall, hits after hits. I would say that the only down thing I would say about this is that I think the second half of the album, it kind of dies down a little bit on the, you know, songs that are really, really good. But they're all good songs. I love the entire listening through the whole album. So have you listened to 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments down below. A few things before I go. One, you probably noticed that last segment where I talk about the songs, I didn't touch every single song. That's because I do want to switch things up a bit to make it more fair when it comes to soundtracks and artists. Also, I'm not a music reviewer, honestly. I'm reviewing the vinyl product. That's what I'm reviewing with these videos. Like, if there's an album that comes out and there's no vinyl record to come with it, I'm not going to review it. So, yeah, I just don't want to go through every single song and dissect every lyric. And that might not seem fair to, like, bands I do from here on forward, and music artists too. But, there's also that thing where, like, there's a lot of albums I want to review, but I can't totally relate to what the person's going through. Like, I'm eventually going to review To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. I can't really relate to that stuff, but I can talk about how I see it from my perspective and talk about it like that. So I hope you guys are okay that I kind of just talk about the highlights for me, because I'm here to talk about the product, and that's that. Also, one more quick reminder, if you didn't see my update video, in the description down below at the very bottom, I have a Spotify link to a playlist of my favorite tracks from vinyl record reviews that I make. So, if you want to check that out, I have the link in the description. If you have Apple Music, I'm sorry, I don't have Apple Music, so I don't have a playlist for you. But Spotify, I got you covered. And if you follow that playlist, I will actually post my favorite song from the next album I plan to review. So look forward to that. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do. And yeah, so long and good night. By the way, fun fact, you probably figured it out. I got the so long and good night part from the song Helena. So fun fact. Anyways, yeah, see you guys later. Bye.